Good morning. My name is Jack Doggett, and it's my pleasure to serve as worship leader today. This is a lay-led service which will combine a number of different speakers and musicians for your education, inspiration, and enjoyment. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder. I want to take a moment to extend a warm welcome to everyone who's visiting us for the first time. If you're joining us online, please fill out a visitor form in the link of the description, and we would love to connect with you. To give you some idea of what we're all about, let me tell you about our mission. We say here that we connect bravely, deepen spiritually, embody justice, and always love. What we mean is that this community is inviting you into our shared time together today, but it's also inviting you into a way of life. A way of being in the world that may transform you. We want you to grow as individuals and to welcome more people in this community. And we want you to help you in your personal dream of making the world and your life better. So there you go, church in a nutshell. I have a couple of announcements this morning. Janet Salmons wanted us to share the joy in being back after 3.5 months in Europe. So welcome back, Janet. And also the Climate Action Ministry, thanks to many who came to our table during July to write postcards. Together with the Citizens Climate Lobby members, we are reaching out to 400 environmental first-time voters in Florida who might not vote this year. The Environmental Voter Project sent us 400 cards and stamps for free, and we hope to give back some of that cost. If you missed our donation basket earlier, please consider a contribution during coffee hour today. So, our chalice lighting this morning recognizes that poetry is not just for the writer, but it's for those of us who need it. And I'll share a very short poem by the Chinese poet Wu Wen before I light the chalice. 10,000 flowers in spring, the moon in autumn, a cool breeze in summer, snow in winter. If your mind isn't clouded by unnecessary things, this is the best season of your life. So our covenant is a promise we make to each other about how we will be together, living in our community. It's simple and it's demanding. In person and online, will you join together as one to speak it out loud? Rise if you're willing and able. We gather in fellowship to speak truth to each other, to reach out and touch one another, and to seek each other, and to seek the truth divine. So be it. So today's service is about the experiences of music movement and the spoken word as sources of spiritual connection. We acknowledge other art forms, drawing, painting, and the visual arts, like in our gallery down the corridor. They all have a spiritual dimension. We start from the idea that creativity is in all of us. In its many forms, it's the origin, and in its many forms, the origin and goal of creative work is joy. What can kill joy and the impulse to continue is the perspective that we need affirmation from others to tell us that what is good. Does that ring a bell? If some of you had your artistic enjoyment and freedom put down or squashed from your young former self, it may be time to let that go. I wish I had some magic words that could guide you here to reunite you with your muse. I do know that our muses are still out there and available to us. Your muse is part of the interconnected web of all existence, our seventh principle. It's an illusion that we're separated from them or anyone or any of the 10,000 joys and sorrows that make up our lives. So let's try and dissolve this sense of separation from each other, from nature, and from the universe. So a little joint exercise here. As we sit still for a moment, take a breath. Feel your hand opening and closing. Do this a few times. Now tighten your hand into a fist. Squeeze it. Hold it. So yes, you may be holding on to the illusion that you're separated from your joy of artistic expression. Now let it go. Let go of your tight grip on your body and your heart. Let it go. Join us here today as we hear the stories and share our spirits. Allow beauty and love, awe and joy to flow, not just from you or to you, but through you this morning. Float with us along this river of spirit. Amy Self is going to share with us about music this morning. Amy?
Good morning. My name is Amy Self, and I've been a performing musician for 35 years, mainly playing Balkan and some klezmer. And I've also been teaching music for 20 years in elementary schools. And I'm very happy to announce that after a period of unemployment, I have a job now. I just accepted a job as a music elementary teacher in Boulder Valley. I'm very excited. Music has been a large part of my life since I was little. I constantly practiced clarinet and piano, and even used my practice to get out of doing chores. But I didn't really discover music as a connection to my spirituality until I was in my early 20s, when I played clarinet with a local Balkan women's choir here in the Denver area, Planina. And they had a lot of solo clarinet features that were really hard to tackle. And they performed concerts for hundreds of people. So the nerves were unmanageable for me because I was accustomed to playing in bands with the whole clarinet section, not just me as a soloist. So I decided to use meditation, to try it. I began a simple daily practice of sitting in silence and focusing on my breath. And when my mind would wander, I would gently bring it back to my breath. Then in this meditative state, I would pick up my clarinet and play that beautiful Greek psalmiko that I was so nervous about. But then something shifted. At some point, instead of using the meditation to quiet my mind before playing, I used the music itself as an instrument to quiet my mind. The music was no longer a piece that I was performing in front of hundreds of people. It was a meditation, a way to quiet my inner experience and get in touch with something bigger than myself. Ever since this shift in perspective, from seeing a performance as something outside of myself to fear, I now see performance as an outer expression of my inner experience, my inner spirituality. I could give 10 sermons on how music has impacted me. I got a little lost here. I could give 10 sermons on how music has touched something deep in me when I'm performing in a band or composing a beautiful choral piece. But honestly, some of the most powerful experiences of music for me have been as a listener and a teacher. Many years ago, I heard a middle school choir sing a song called Al Shlosha Devarim, which is a choral piece set to a simple but profound Hebrew poem. The song was so beautiful, but there was also something so beautiful in seeing the singers and the conductor singing and expressing with such passion and sincerity. At that moment, when I heard them, I said to myself, I need to become a music teacher. This is before I became a music teacher. I need to hear children's voices every day. It touched my soul so strongly that clarity of that decision was unchangeable. So later, when I did become a music teacher, I had another moving experience with this same song. There was a little fourth grader, I'll call him Adrian, who had a severe anxiety disorder, and he was also in my choir. And he wanted to sing a solo. So he auditioned on this song that I'm about to play for you, and he was fantastic, and so he got the solo. And I had a relationship with Adrian, so I approached him and I said, Adrian, that was amazing. How do you do it? You have anxiety, and yet when you performed, it was just beautiful. And he said, he looked at me, and he said, when I perform, it's just me and God. Just me and God. So I don't use the word God very often, but what he described and experienced is very similar to my experience of my transformed perspective of performing. So music touches us, it comes through us, it changes us, it leads us to action, it connects us. It can change our lives like it did mine. I'd like to share that special choral piece with you. Again, it's called Al Shlosha Dvarim. It's in Hebrew. And the translation is, the world is sustained by three pillars, by truth, by justice, and by peace. May it be so.
Devarim Olam Kayam thank you to music teachers and choir directors in elementary schools, middle schools. I had some wonderful ones. Had a lot of negative experiences too with music. Don't sing, Clint. Go back to running track or something. But thank you, Ms. Woodard, wherever you are. We had a rockin' 6th grade choir, and in high school too. So this, songs are written about a lot of different things, about love and patriotism. And this Peter Mayer song is written about the songs. Singing a song is what it's called, in fact. And we would like to invite you to sing along on the chorus. And as a closing, Paula has suggested that we repeat a line. What is that one, Paula? Oh, we'll be together singing a song. All righty then. We know this river always keeps flowing. We will be rolling our whole lives long. But we may never know where we're going, but we can go there singing a song. Just like a mother to a child she's holding, just like a soldier marching along, just like the faithful on Sunday morning, raising our voices, singing the song. Chorus now. Eyes will shine but not as bright, arms will hold but not as tight, when a word is only spoken. To give it feeling, give it rhyme, play it in 4/4 time, sing it with a heart wide open. Sing of the beauty right there beside you. Bring it inside you, making you strong, so that when trouble comes round to grieve you, still it will leave you singing a song. Chorus. Eyes will shine but not as bright, arms will hold but not as tight, when a word is only spoken. So give it feeling, give it rhyme, play it in 4/4 time, sing it with a heart wide open. And may the music of life overtake us, till angels mistake us for a heavenly throng. And may that joyful sound be our shelter, bind us together, singing the song. Chorus one more time. Eyes will shine but not as bright, arms will hold but not as tight, when a word is only spoken. So give it feeling, give it rhyme, play it in 4/4 time, sing it with a heart wide open. We'll be together singing a song. We'll be together singing a song. One more time. We'll be together singing a song. Nice. Thank you.
I just love Clint's voice. Thank you. When the idea of this service came up early in the summer, poetry had to be included. It's one of my lifelong loves. And I was talking with Kai Whizzer whether he might be interested. And he said, you know, I would, but I said, there's a person that I know that would just be really perfect for this. So he brought Josh Robinson to church one day, and they and I got in a conversation, and the more I listened, the more we talked, I realized we really need to hear from this man. So it gives me great pleasure to ask Josh Robinson to share with us about poetry today.
Thank you very much, Jack, and thank you, Kai, for introducing me to this community. Thank you so much. Hi. My name is Joshua C. Robinson, and I have been writing poetry since I was around 6 years old. My experiences with the spirit and poetry have been life-altering. I've experienced the saving grace of a power greater than myself, and at times my life has literally been saved by what some may call God, the absolute, the universe, or an ultimate spirit. Needless to say, writing has played a major role in who I am as a person today. To give you a little taste of my poetry, I'd like to read an excerpt from my book of poems, This Way to Exit. And this is inspired by a personal experience I had and a spiritual experience as well. I'm in the space between sleep and awake, that space where it all blurs together. Then suddenly, I'm stuck in that space. I'm there and I start to lift up, levitate out of my body, and as I'm rising out of my body, as my soul separates from the physical, I become aware of how very alive I am, how much this isn't death. And the moment I think that, I'm alive, yes, I'm alive. As soon as that happens, I'm sucked into a vacuum of space. I'm catapulted through a tunnel, an upward tunnel that looks everything like a kaleidoscope. Only I'm not looking through a window. I'm looking into a mess of color and light. I'm looking right into that edge of never. It's no black curtain. It's this kaleidoscope of color and light, this sound that just keeps getting louder and louder, bigger and bigger, until it's a shattering vibration that is going through the very core of me. It's pulling me apart, and I'm screaming, trying to make it stop, only my scream doesn't come out, and suddenly I am this vibration. I am this screaming. It's the voice of God. I know it's the voice of God, and it will end me, I think. The vibrating colors that are me rushing toward the end of this tunnel where there's nothing but bright white light. I rush so fast that I'm pulled out into this endless expanse of white vibrating energy, just endless light on light, yellow charged hues. I feel like infinity and nothingness, an infinitely small point and an endless expanse at the same time. I want to live. And when I know that, I rush back out of the light, through the kaleidoscope, through the lack of body in my soul. My soul slams into my body, and I'm awake, staring at the sky, and I can't move or breathe. I fear I must have died, but I had never felt more alive. Thank you. Thanks for the snaps. I wrote that at a time of my life that was overrun with addiction and disaster. During my attempts at recovery, I had left a sober living community. I lived in a trap house, and I was abandoned in Los Angeles, California. I would face homelessness off and on for the next 1.5 years. Art and expression and the Spirit of God, as I know God to be, brought me out of homelessness and into a space of stability and calm. My life before the streets seems unexamined compared to the abject desolation of homelessness. But in that destitute state, I realized that the Spirit was with me every step of the way. I feel strongly that my time in homelessness shaped me into a better, more patient, more compassionate person, and also a better artist. This is a brief excerpt from my book, Homeless with God. My body wanted to turn left, my mind wanted to go forward, but a feeling came over me, and I was pulled to the right, and there I saw it, a food line. They were giving out water, coffee, tamales, rice, and beans. I started to cry as I stood in line. The entire time that I was eating my food, I was sobbing. Big teardrops fell into my meal. I downed the coffee and water. I was stuck with my back against a wall, ugly crying and eating at the same time. God had more than delivered. And then the woman who served me came around the corner with another bottle of water and another coffee. I had never been more thankful in my entire life. During this time, my experience of the infinite universe grew deeper and broader. These experiences made me value even the most basic concepts of the hierarchy of needs. I'm infinitely thankful that I not only made it out of those experiences alive, but that I also made it back to my creative endeavors. Or perhaps that my creativity made it back to me. So, there are many modes of dipping into the artistic spirit, and one that I have found exceptionally useful is a process called oblique strategies, a method invented by Brian Eno and Peter Schmidt. Oblique strategies is an inspiration to create moment to moment through an improvisational method. Shortly here, you will see a series of words and phrases projected on the screen behind me. I believe you were given a note card when you came in. If anyone still needs a pen, please raise your hand. Got some folks over there. So, these oblique strategies or prompts will cycle, and as they play, please begin to doodle, draw, write poetry, or write nothing as a sense of expressing peace. Or if you have an idea or expression of your own, please go with that. These prompts will play all the way through, each in totality for 3 minutes, and at the end of the service, if you would like, we can display them during the coffee hour outside. You can also keep these cards anonymous, or if you would like, you can keep the card to yourself or add your name to the top. And we will begin now. The first prompt is, discard an axiom. Courage. Ghost echoes. Remove specifics and convert to ambiguities. Honor thy error as a hidden intention. The inconsistency principle. Be extravagant. Think of the radio. Distorting time. The most important thing is the thing that is most easily forgotten. Thank you so much for joining me on this writing journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Continue writing as you need to or are inspired. Let's take a deep breath and another. Meditation, I want to share a poem. What else? From the poet Dana Falls. Breath, the mindful breath, the rhythm, out and in, the wave that washes through our days, creating space for stillness, sorrow, joy, and exaltation. Full then empty, ebb and flow, breath accompanies each step into the unknown. In the breath, the soul finds an opportunity to speak. Images or intuition, poetry or wordless wisdom come and go. No effort but to breathe and to listen. Let's sit in stillness for a minute. Our commitment to connect bravely means that we are called to be glad with those who rejoice and to weep with those who mourn. Each week we set aside this time in the service to make visible in ritual the joys and sorrows that are now shaping our lives. For those meeting in person, I invite you to come forward as you feel so moved, starting with the back half of the room, the side, and then the front. Silently take a stone and place it to the earth to symbolize your joys and your cares taking place in the larger, solid whole, mingling with each other and held in the hand of the earth. Come forward as you feel so moved. Just say one thing and then I'll go. For the blessings and concerns we carry, we hold this compassionate space with love.
Good morning. I'm Heidi, Todd, and I've been a member at UUCB since 2009. I've also been a dancer for most of my life and a performer, instructor, and choreographer for over 40 years. I've always known that dance can lift my spirits. Besides feeding my soul, it offers creative expression, fun exercise, and community. A deeper sense of movement, though, as an intentional part of my spiritual practice, has developed but slowly over the years, especially since joining UUCB. It's still a work in progress. Thinking back to my college days when I studied Chinese art and philosophy, I recall deciding to study the martial art Tai Chi Chuan to see how one could bring those concepts into the physical realm. It seemed to work on the TV show Kung Fu, for those of you who remember it. Then around 10 years ago, as part of the church's auction, Rhonda Aiken offered a class in Qigong. I've always been curious about that as a spiritual practice and a link to Tai Chi, so I was eager to take the class. Prior to that, I had tried different kinds of meditation, but found that sitting still wasn't really working very well for me. Qigong, however, connects spirit, or qi, mind, and body. It was a real revelation to me. While I'm not an adept in that tradition, since that class, I've been adapting some of the movements and principles into my own spiritual practice. I find that adding simple movements into meditation focuses my attention, directs intention, guides visualization, and allows me to feel and circulate the presence of life energy / spirit or qi in my body. And that makes it feel real to me. Whether in dance or in meditation, movement makes me feel more alive and connected to all life. So I'd like to share a simple movement meditation with you today. This is something that I really like to do. This is something you can do sitting or standing. The movements can be small or large. And I actually really like to do this on a bridge over a mountain stream. I'll show you the way I like to do it, and feel free to adapt it however works for you. So you circle your hands to coordinate with your breath, like this. And when you breathe in, you lift your hands upward, feeling the energy move up like sap in a tree. And when you breathe out, you circle your hands downward, feeling the energy falling around you like a fountain. So try that now. You can close your eyes or leave them open however you like. And continue to circle your hands and your energy at your own pace. So in and out. So now, as you circle your hands upward, Imagine that you are releasing anything you no longer need, anything that doesn't serve you or holds you back. It's kind of like releasing captive birds. So each time your hands go up, you're releasing. And do that a few times, feeling the space that's created in your being each time you circle your hands. You might specifically have things you're trying to release, or just leave it to the universe to know what you no longer need. Now, as you circle your hands downward, imagine that you are opening to the gifts of life like a flower opening to the sun. Each time you circle your hands downward, you may have special gifts in mind, or just be open to whatever gifts life sends you. And do that a few times, feeling yourself filling up with life. And each time you release, you create space. And each time you open to the gifts of life. Circulating with your breath. Now bring your hands together at your heart and give thanks for the beauty and grace of life on earth. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you.
Before we move to the offertory, I want to acknowledge and express appreciation to the AV team. Ray and Michael, would you come out? Thank you. Thank you. We threw them a lot of curves today, a lot of slides and cues and music, and so it makes me just really, really appreciate them. So our offering will now be received. As we have done in years past, during the summer months, we suspend our Share a Plate program. And the proceeds from our plate collection will support the programs and ministries of UUCB. We will resume sharing our plate in September. I invite you to give as generously as you are able. The ushers will pass the baskets now. And for those who are online, you can use the QR code or find the link in the video description. And for those of you gathered in person who are high techies, you can scan the QR code and make a donation as we now pass the baskets. May our gifts be used to enact justice, bringing peace and love to the Boulder community.
I just wanted to talk a little bit. You guys can go ahead and start. The song that we're about to perform is a combination of the two styles that I've performed in my adult life, klezmer, some klezmer, and a lot of Balkan, from the Balkan Peninsula. So the song that I'm playing on either end of the improvisation is klezmer, but then I threw in a Balkan improvisation called a taksim. So I just want to give you a little taste of this style.
Our closing song today, we're going to share with each other this wonderful meditation on breathing. Lyrics and melody is simple, but if you feel more comfortable, the hymnals are there to use. Three of us are going to lead, and we're going to add movement to it. So feel free to stand and share in the experience. Breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, so much fun to stand up here and experience that with you all. Hope you all have a chance to do that someday. So let's sing our closing song, and then I'll invite you to go out into the side here. Playground. There we go. I knew there was, for a coffee outside and picnic for those who are participating. So if we can join hands and. Wander as you may. Blessed is the path you take. May love guide you on your way.